Rob Ellis hanging out with you on this Friday Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. All right, let's keep the football flow going here, Derek, and let's look at the best games of the week here. All right, obviously the Eagles, there's no question about that. But let's jump around a little bit here and look at some of the other games. And there's actually a lot of really appealing games in week one.
Yes.
For sure. Let's go Bengals-Browns first, Derek, in the AFC. Cincinnati's a 2-point favorite. We'll get to Joe Burrow in a minute, but he got taken care of in a big way. And he's also been cleared to play officially. So he will play in the game. I think the Browns are fascinating. What Deshaun Watson are you getting? You're talking about a roster that's got a lot of talent that a couple years ago beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Yes.
But it was a mess last year. You kind of knew it was going to be a mess when Watson, they made the trade and he couldn't play for, 11 games or whatever.
Right. 11 games.
But this is always and traditionally has been a very ugly knockdown, drag out kind of game because it is, border rights and, all this other stuff in the state of Ohio. What are you thinking here? It's a low line. Cincinnati's only -2 at Cleveland.
That's a tricky game. If Burrow's healthy, we believe they have the better team. And you look at what they've accomplished the last couple of years, a Super Bowl and the conference championship game. They have the battering ram in Nick Chubb. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, and Donovan Peoples-Jones and David Njoku are some really good pass catchers. The Browns have arguably one of the top 3 offensive lines in the NFL. And they have had that for quite some time. Myles Garrett is one of the best guys coming off the edge in the game. Plus, they've added Zadarius Smith, who's really good off the edge as well. And I look at the back end of their defense: Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, and Greg Newsome. 3 really good cover guys on the back end of that defense to match up against Cincinnati's trio of wide receivers. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
If Deshaun Watson is anything close to what he was in his prime when he was down in Houston, this could be an eye-opener. This game could be an eye-opener. Again, it's the first game of the season. It's at home for Cleveland. Watson is that much further along in Stefanski's offense. This could be an eye-opener. And I understand now why the point spread is so close.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's a pick-em game coming out of the gate to open the season.
I put them in the dangerous category. I think Cleveland is dangerous.
Yes.
If like you said, if Deshaun Watson resembles Houston Watson, they're going to be tough to beat. There's a lot of talent there. The problem that they fall into is what the teams in the AFC East fall into. You're dealing with Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Right.
You gotta play, twice. That in and of itself is going to knock your record down. And but that'll apply to all the teams in that division. They're all going to be beating each other up, man. But I think that's going to be a really close game. And I will say this. I think Cincinnati wins it. I would not be one bit surprised if Cleveland upsets them. Not one bit surprised.
I agree with you 100%. And that's why I always say, if I was a betting person, I wouldn't touch a lot of games because it's the first week of the season. Everybody's not as fluid as they're going to be. Now, there's some matchups where that even though the best team may not be as sharp, they're playing a much more inferior opponent. But when you have balanced games, there's at least 7 games in this first week that you can go, I don't know. I wouldn't touch games the first week of the season. Not even close.
I'm with you. All right. So that's one that we're going to be looking at here. How about the Titans and the Saints? And I know initially you look at that and you're like, no. Well, you know what? New Orleans has a really good chance to turn things around, especially now with the quarterback situation that they have with Derek Carr. They have a good defense already. They have playmakers, especially if Michael Thomas is back. You go to the Titans, it's really Tannehill is kind of fighting for his starting quarterback life right now. They still have Derrick Henry to pound it down your throat, but they add DeAndre Hopkins. They have Treylon Burks. They've certainly given Tannehill the best weapons he's had in a while there. So what do you think in that one?
The fact that the Titans have DeAndre Hopkins is really intriguing. You got one of the best runners in the game. Treylon Burks needed help.
Yeah.
They're physical on both sides of the ball. The Titans, are under Mike Vrabel, take pride in physicality. Offensive line is physical. Defensive front is physical. The Saints are trying to. The Saints believe they finally have that missing link at quarterback. Michael Thomas says he's healthy. If I bet, I have to take the Saints at home in this game. You know, I like Michael Thomas is one of my favorite receivers when he's healthy. You know, he's not the fastest guy out there, but he's such a matchup nightmare for so many, cover guys. And he doesn't drop passes. You know, he's so sure-handed. He's had 2 seasons back-to-back with injuries. You know, according to what he said coming out of training camp, this is the best he's felt in quite some time. I think it's going to be a close game. The fact that the Saints don't have Alvin Kamara to open things up, it's going to hurt their offense just a little bit. But I have to take the Saints at home in this one, and a close one.
I like the Saints at home. I think if the Saints fancy themselves as being a good team, this is the kind of game you got to win early. Now they are without Kamara. That's important to note. You're right. But this is a game I think you want to show folks you're real. Win that game at home. If the game was in Tennessee, it might be a different story. This is a really good one. This is going to be some. I mean, you talk about some defense being played here. 49ers at the Steelers. 49ers are -2.5. I'll tell you, Derek, I would grab the 2.5 and Pittsburgh here. I think Pittsburgh may win the game outright, but I think it's going to be an awesome game.
You're talking about 2 organizations that take pride in their defensive prowess. You know, the headliner is Nick Bosa and TJ Watt on the same field. Those are the headliners right there. You're talking about 2 teams that love to roll up their sleeves and brass knuckles and do whatever they can to demoralize you in any way, shape, and form, to beat you down. You have 2 young quarterbacks in Purdy and Pickett. Both teams are loaded with offensive weapons. Both teams have great linebacking play. Man, you're right, Rob. I'm with you on this one. If you twist my arm, I say the Niners go in there and steal a win. But both teams going to come out bloodied in this game.
Yeah, and here's, this is going to come down to the second-year quarterbacks in a lot of ways. You know, what between Pickett and Purdy, who's going to be the one to really step up to make a play, at some point. If this is a real ugly sort of knockdown kind of game, someone's got to get you in field position or field goal position, or someone's got to get you in the end zone. Which guy makes the play? So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch that one.
Yes.
For sure, no doubt. All right, the next game we move on to Raiders Broncos. I bring this one up for a couple reasons. I guess some of it is just curiosity out of what you're going to get from Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, and a Raider team that's never without drama, right? The latest being Chandler Jones and all that. But it looks like Jimmy G is going to be able to play. They still have Devontae Adams. They still have Hunter Renfrow. They still have Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
They still have Max Crosby on the other. Like, there's talent on this Raiders team. It just was a mess last year. And Josh McDaniels is another one, Derek. He's on the clock. I don't care what they say. He doesn't have a good year this year. He'll be out of there.
Well, you've got Devontae Adams going up against a very good Broncos secondary.
Yep.
Sean Payton kind of embarrassed himself taking shots at Nathaniel Hackett this year. Now it's about playing football, and he wants to set the tone right out the gate. Broncos have this one at home. Garoppolo getting used to his new weapons and new surroundings. Russell Wilson has a chip on his shoulder. The entire Broncos organization has a chip on their shoulder because of how embarrassed they were last year. I'm taking the Broncos at home in this game. I think it's going to be a good, entertaining game. Could be like a 28-24 type game, but I'll take the Broncos at home with Sean Payton coaching that Broncos team.
I feel like it's close, and I feel like Denver wins late. Something happens where Denver wins late, but I think the Raiders will be in there with them. I think they'll be hanging with them. I think the Raiders going to be a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. Now, if you're asking me in that division, I mean, you still got the Chiefs, you still have the Broncos, you still have the Chargers. I think they're the 4th of 4, but I think they're a little bit better. They're not going to lose. Like they coughed up a lot of games late last year. The Raiders did.
Yeah, they did. They did.
I think they'll be a little bit better than that this year.
Well, not having Chandler Jones there, is going to hurt. That's definitely going to hurt.
Yeah,
but you still have that dude named Max Crosby coming after your quarterback there. The safety, Jonathan Abrams, is healthy. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. No, he's not with the team now anymore. My bad. I thought Abrams was still with the team. He's not there anymore. I'm curious to see what Marcus Epps looks like playing alongside Marcus Peters.
Oh, yes, our old friend. Yeah.
Yeah, they have Marcus Epps as a starting strong safety, and Marcus Peters they got, from the Ravens as a starting cornerback. Mm-hmm. So they've added some pieces there. Chandler Jones not being there is going to hurt in terms of getting pressure on Russell because, as you know, Russell, he loves to run around and buy time. He doesn't like to step up and run unless he has to, but he loves to run around until somebody comes open and man, what's it going to look like? Denver's down two receivers. They lost 2 receivers.
Yeah.
But I like Denver's defense better than I like the Raiders' defense.
Okay. All right. All right. This is another one. This is a big boy game here. Dolphins Chargers. This game's in LA. Chargers are -3 right now. Over under 51. That's a big number.
Yeah.
But you're talking about 2 explosive offenses, but the thing is, I think they have there's 2 good defenses here too. We don't talk enough about Miami's defense.
Right.
Again, let's go broken record here, but if 2 is right, I mean, you remember what they were doing before he started experiencing these concussions offensively? They were just shredding.
He was shredding defenses. Before Tua got hurt, they were flat out shredding defenses, especially stretching the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he got hurt, and once he got hurt, he wasn't quite the same quarterback. Justin Herbert has a heavy weight on his shoulder now, being paid that money. When you pay somebody that kind of money, you expect them to take their game to the next level.
Yep. And
Justin Herbert, if there's one knock on his overall game, is that he took too many risks trying to put balls in tight windows. What are we gonna see from Justin Herbert? They have the running game. They have a good collection of wide receivers. And then you look at their defense. Khalil Mack, is he the same? Because last year he wasn't that same guy.
I don't think he is. I think he's on the downside. It doesn't mean he's toast, but I just don't. He's definitely not the same guy, in my opinion.
But here's what's huge for them. They added Eric Kendricks as their one of their outside backers.
Yep.
So you're looking at Sebastian Joseph Day, Joey Bosa, Eric Kendricks, Kenneth Murray, who I've always loved coming out of college, Khalil Mack, Derwin James. Derwin James to me is one of, if not the hardest hitting safety in the game.
Yeah.
And the left cornerback is J.C. Jackson, who missed quality time last year because of injuries. So you have the pieces. Okay. You got to put it all together. This has got to be a huge year for the Chargers. And what better test coming out of the gate than trying to go up against the likes of this Miami defense and all those weapons they have on offense?
Yeah, I think, look, we talk about certain coaches being on, watch here. Herbert, when you get paid like this, and it hasn't all been his fault, but Herbert is a guy who's going to be compared with all the best because he's being paid like the best. So
right.
It's time for him now to show it. Show us what you are. Show us what you're made of. And you have good weapons. Not like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. Not like he doesn't have weapons. So he needs to deliver. And, the Tua thing is just holding your breath every time the guy gets knocked to the ground or hit. And whether he's going to be able to bounce up.
Yep.
So, all right, let's continue here. We go now to the Cowboys and the Giants. And this is the Sunday night game. And this is one, man, you're an Eagles fan after the Birds game. You're going to be locked in. Dallas is 3.5 point favorites on the road here.
On the road.
What do you think? Yeah.
Man. Dak has a lot to prove. He's been given an additional weapon to stretch the field and take a lot of pressure off CeeDee Lamb. The tight end position is a big question mark for Dallas. How healthy is Pollard?
Yeah.
That's huge in terms of the running game. Year 2 of Daniel Jones in that offense and Brian Daboll's offense. They've added a lot of receivers that are like quick, dart type receivers. How are they going to utilize that? Saquon says, hey, look, I'm here to play football. The money thing will take care of itself. You people can ask me all you want. I'm not really concerned about the money. It is what it is. I'm here. Giants have something to prove because I'm sure they hear the scuttlebutt about how they fluked their way into the playoffs last year, and with a much tougher schedule, they don't see the Giants as a playoff team. They're going to use that to their advantage. They're going to use that motivation. But I will say this. I like Dak in the situation better than I like Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones was very efficient in year 1 in Brian Daboll's offense. But I'm going to take Dallas on the road in this one.
Okay, here's what I want to see. I think if Waller's healthy, he's going to be really big for them. And we know what Saquon Barkley can do. Who else steps up? Who else steps up to help Daniel Jones? What receivers, do you feel that good about for them if they need to come back in a game, if you're down a couple of touchdowns or whatever? That's what I'm looking for. Now with Dallas, there's a lot I'm going to be looking for. How different does the offense look with McCarthy really just running the show here?
Right.
With Kellen Moore being out of there, and there's no more Elliott. I'm sure they're going to be looking to feed Brandon Cooks on some deep shots to loosen things up for CeeDee Lamb underneath. And then how healthy is Pollard? And then what are the Giants doing in any way, shape, or form to contain Micah Parsons? Not stop, because you're not stopping him.
And can Daniel Jones, can he withstand that pass rush that Dallas is going to bring? Because they take pride in being fast and furious coming after the quarterback.
Yep.
And they're not bashful about blitzing either. Can Daniel Jones see it and be it quick enough to keep that Dallas pass rush off of him? He's very athletic. Now, if Dallas leaves the gate open and allows Daniel Jones to step up and slip through to the second level, he's going to burn him in terms of being able to run. But when he steps back to pass, can Dallas get to him before he can get? Because I think the Cowboys secondary is pretty good, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Stephon Gilmore, you add him to that mix they already had. Yeah.
Now, Trayvon Diggs is a gambler. Would Daniel Jones be able to take advantage of Trayvon being a gambler?
Yeah.
Jerry, you paid Trayvon $97 million for a cornerback, $97 million. All right. So you've obviously identified Trayvon Diggs as one of the elite of the elite in cornerbacks in the National Football League. He better sure live up to it. He does make a lot of big plays, but he gives up a lot of yards also.
True. Very true. Just one underrated aspect of the Eagles, and I know, Dallas has had success and Dak's had success. The Eagles do a really good job on Micah Parsons.
Yeah, they do.
For whatever it's worth, they do a really good job on him. I think they do a better job than anybody else in the league. Now, I don't know what the Giants are going to be able to do against them, but that's, it's an encouraging sign for Eagles fans. All right, last one. Let's go Monday night. I mean, the hype train couldn't be any crazier for the New York Jets. And we're going to get them up close and personal. You got the Bills going there, Derek. Bills are 2.5-point favorites on the road, taking on the Jets. Bills are a team that have been close, but no cigar. Jets are a team that came on last year, but were clearly missing the one piece, and the one piece was quarterback, and they bring in a future Hall of Famer. So, boy, oh boy, two teams with lofty expectations in this one.
In-state bragging rights, divisional game. Everybody wants to get that jump in the division games. Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. Now, Rob, if there was a game that you could sway me to go to, that would be it right there. Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers.
Game of the week in your estimation.
Game of the week. That is the game. To me, that's the game of the week.
Okay.
Right there. I would probably get in my car and drive halfway to the stadium and say, what am I thinking? I'm going back home to watch this on my big TV. That's what I would do. Yeah. But the Jets have been pounding their chest for months. They even got so bold as to call it Jets Life Stadium.
I know.
Instead of Mets Life Stadium.
And DJ Reed saying they're going to be with the 85 Bears and the Legion of Boom defensively. Yeah. Like, okay, dude.
Now, you got two really good defenses, especially with Buffalo having those two safeties on the back end. Both of them have elite receivers in Garrett Wilson and Stephon Diggs. This is another one of those backyard brawls, man. But because the Jets have this one at home, I'm giving the home team a 3-point edge. I'm going to take the Jets by 3 at home. It's a toss-up in a lot of ways. Josh Allen says, I've spent this offseason studying what I did wrong. I'm going to be a better quarterback this year. Okay, I believe him. Until further notice, I believe him. But he's going into Jets Life Stadium.
I kind of like the Bills. Okay. I think there's going to be a little humble pie. I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be a little humble pie for the Jets. And I think they'll rebound off of it nicely, but I kind of like the Bills in this one. A little bit.
I like the combination of Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook now. You bring in that Dalvin Cook. Yeah. Dalvin Cook can catch it out of the backfield. Aaron Rodgers loves throwing to his backs. Mm-hmm. Did it for years with Aaron Jones up in Green Bay.
Yep.
And Breece Hall is on a mission. Hey, man, they bringing somebody in here to take my job.
Yeah.
You know, he's on a mission. He was having a phenomenal rookie year until he got his knee injury. You know, you got Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard. Dude,
There's a lot of talent. Yeah,
you got a lot of talent.
They have a lot of talent.
Top 5 defense.
Yeah.
Now, is Von Miller playing? Now,
no.
he was okay. So Von Miller's out. That's a big factor for me.
It is.
As good as that Buffalo defense is, that's huge because that defense is exceptional when Von Miller's coming off the edge. Still very good when he's not available. I'll stick to what I said. I'll take the Jets by 3 at home.
Okay. All right, and that is the Monday night game. All right, let's before we do a little Phillies and then we'll get into our NFL segment. Give me your Eagles prediction for the game.
Bill Belichick's defense will keep it close for a while. Then all of a sudden, once Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson figure out what they're doing, they'll slowly pull away. Patriots offensively don't have the firepower to come back. Not even close to trying to match this Eagles offense in point for point. Because it's the first game of the season, things won't be as polished on both sides of the ball for the Birds. I'll say they pull this one out 24-20.
Oh, all right. It's right on the line, 204. Okay.
24-20.
I think it's a 30-27 Eagles win.
Whoa.
30-27. Yes.
Birds don't cover.
They don't cover. They do not cover. Yeah. I don't think they cover. I think it's going to be.
I don't see the Patriots scoring 27 points on this defense. Now, if they had better weapons on the wideout, maybe.
Yeah.
I think the running game is going to help keep it close. But I can't see them scoring 27 points in this Eagles defense.
It's early, though. I just think
right.
the Eagles defense isn't going to be where it's going to be later. That's all. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Eagles destroy them. Obviously. There would be nothing sweeter than sticking it to Brady on Brady night. There wouldn't be anything better than that. But I just, I don't know. I can't escape tight game, survival last year. That kind of feel to it. It really just it is kind of what is calling out to me on this one. But again, you guys want to jump in there with your finals. We will do that as well. All right. I do want to sneak in a little bit of Phils. As I mentioned, they play tonight. It's the Marlins. They're right now, they're 2 up in the wild card are the Phillies, and the Marlins are a half game back at the 3rd spot. If you look at it right now, Derek, and let me see where we are here. I'm going to add them up. All right. So the Phillies right now have played 139 games, which means they have 23 more games left. All right. So we're really
already at that point.
That's where we are. Yeah. We're very much, we're sniffing the finish line here.
Jeez.
I think we've talked about it a lot. The pitching's frightening right now once you get past Wheeler. But the good thing is having 23 more games to play, you will allow guys, I think, to eat maybe a combination of relaxing a little bit and getting some other opportunities to get out of it. Really, if they can just get their pitching squared away, I think they're an extremely dangerous team in the playoffs because their offense is found it.
Well, I said it a few days ago. If they get this pitching squared away, I don't fear anybody they have to face in the National League, to be honest. Yeah. The way they're hitting the ball right now, and that's 1 through 9. That's not just 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 1 through 9. The way they're hitting the ball right now, I don't fear anybody. And that includes the Braves and the Dodgers.
Yep.
But Rob, I don't have any faith in this pitching staff right now.
No, nor should you.
No. Other than Wheeler, I don't have any faith in any starter, anybody middle reliever, anybody on the back end right now. I really don't.
I don't blame you. Listen, and they haven't earned it where you should have faith in them. So this is the series where you got to start showing it. You got to somebody's got to step up here in the bullpen. And we just named the guys who were pitching in this series. Nola, et cetera. Like these guys all have to show you that.
Yes.
They're ready. They're ready for prime time when it gets real because we're not that far out. And you don't have anything locked up. You have nothing locked up right now. The Cubs are playing excellent, baseball. So don't think for a second that this is you can take your foot off the gas. You can't.
No. And as we've seen, Rob, time and time again, when teams are jockeying for positions, we see one team in. All of a sudden, a week later, they're on the outside looking in. And as strong as this Phillies team has been at the plate, They can't afford too many mess ups, especially when you look at these next 7 games. These next 7 games are pivotal in terms of them jockeying for a position.
Yeah. 3
No
Marlins,
question
4
about it.
Braves. Here's good news. Trey Turner's off the paternity list. He's playing tonight.
There you go.
So
That's huge. That's
you
huge.
know, with the way that guy's been hitting lately, man, woof, that is enormous. All right, let's get a timeout here, Derek. Let's come back and we will set our sights. We'll tell you what Joe Burrow's getting paid. Maybe he could lend us a couple coins. We will get into that, a bunch of other stuff. Justin Jefferson with his contract, a Jimmy Graham update, Jerry Jones update, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Campbell, Magic Johnson, all kinds of stuff that we will get into when we come back. Don't go anywhere. He's Derek Gunn. I am Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take. Let's talk about Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. You can check out all of their work and gain some more information on them if you go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of that work. And trust me, you will see some unbelievable work that they do with trees, whether it's taking out the entire tree or just trimming it back or pruning or whatever the case may be. You want to check it out. Stumps as well. Give them a call, 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's Flynn.